Not for maybe for certain people that you're really curious about. Like
Yeah.
you have that kind of time for Bob Lazar,
Yes. Yes.
but maybe not for Donald Trump.
No, that's different because Bob Lazar, what what he's talking about. Like I wanted to know with the Bob Lazar thing. I wanted to know first of all. I want to be around him and see if I could smell bullshit.
Did you?
No,
Okay.
no, I didn't, man. That was what's weird about it. Not only did I not smell bullshit, I went over all of his interviews. He hasn't done a lot, but he's done enough, and he's done them over the course of 30 plus years, and it's alarming how consistent his story is, which is really weird when you think about you're talking about back engineering alien crafts and working on a top secret government test site that's carved into the side of a mountain and to camouflage it from satellites. It's such a wacky story, but the guy really did work at Los Alamos Labs. He really is a propulsions expert. He really is a scientist. Did he really work on back engineering UFOs? I don't know. But the way he described their motion is exactly like what's been observed by some of these pilots that have these videos that they've captured.
And I just love that, like NASA. I've been hearing from a bunch of folks who they're legitimately like funding research, and there's people really taking this seriously of UFO sightings, investigating them.
Yeah.
Like adding more and more sensors to collect data from just observing at higher and higher definitions. It's cool to finally see that. And he was one of the early people, whether he's full of shit or not, that kind of forced people to start taking these topics seriously,
or at least force people to have conversations about them and maybe attempt to debunk them because it seems so preposterous, but then get sucked down the rabbit hole and start going, maybe we'll fucking. It's the thing is like the Fermi paradox. Like, where are they, right? And when you take into account just the sheer raw numbers, the vast majority of people objectively assume that there is life out there. The vast majority. Well, if you really take into account what we understand about the universe itself, what we understand about the concept of infinity, and the way Neil deGrasse Tyson has explained it to me is that not only are there life forms out there, but there's you. You are out there. Infinity is so large that Lex Fridman exists, and doesn't just exist, but exists an infinite number of times. Like the amount of interactions that cells and molecules, the same exact interactions that have happened here on Earth have happened in the exact same order an infinite number of times in the cosmos.
Well, first of all, it's not certain that that's true. It's possible.
It's possible.
Like Sean Carroll, especially with quantum mechanics, based on certain interpretation of quantum mechanics, that's very possible. But the question is, can you access those universes?
Right.
And so
how far away are they?
The more sort of specific practical question is this local pocket of the universe, our galaxy or our neighboring galaxies. Are there aliens there? What do they look like?
Right.
Are they, so you can have this panspermia idea where a much larger like daddy civilization rolled by and just planted a few aliens at a similar time,
like Prometheus.
Yes.
Yeah.
A different, throughout the galaxy. And those are the ones we might be interacting with. They're all kind of dumb as we are, relatively, maybe a few million years apart. And then those are the ones we're interacting with. And then we have a chance to actually connect with them and communicate with them. Or it could be like much more wide open. And you have these gigantic alien civilizations that are expanding very, very quickly. And the interesting thing is when you look up at the sky and you see the stars, that's light from those stars. We might not be seeing the alien civilizations until they're already here. Meaning,
right.
Like you start expanding, once you get really good at expanding, you're going to be expanding very close to the speed of light. So right now we don't see much in the sky, but there could be one day we wake up and it's just like everywhere, and they're here.
Right, because the amount of time the light takes to reach us. Yeah, and then the thing that I've been really fascinated by is these alternative forms of transportation that they're discussing, like the ability to harness wormholes, and the ability to do things that a Type 3 civilization is capable of. I had Michio Kaku on my
Yeah, it was a great
podcast recently.
conversation. Yeah.
Fantastic. Love that guy. He's so good at taking extremely complex concepts and boiling them down for digestion and saying them in a way that other people can appreciate.
And not being hesitant about saying wild, crazy shit that's out
Yeah.
there, but grounded in what's actually possible.
Yeah, he's all in on this UFO phenomenon now. He's like, now the burden of proof is for people to come up with some sort of a conventional explanation for these things. He goes, because these things are defying all the concepts of physics that we currently know in terms of what our capabilities are, and propulsion systems and so many other things that, what we know about what current science is capable of reproducing as far as what we know. The problem is like these military projects that are top secret. Like, how much money do they have? They have a lot of money. Like, but is it possible, and maybe you could speak to this, is it possible that there could be some propulsion systems that have been developed and implemented that are far beyond just the simple burning of rocket fuel, pushing the fire out the back, which forces the rocket at extreme speeds forward? That's something that does harness gravity, something that can distort space and time and can make travel from one point to another like preposterously fast.
Well, not only is it possible, I think it's likely that kind of stuff would be kept a secret.
Yeah.
It's just everything you see about these, about the way, either if it's contractors like Lockheed Martin or if it's DoD, the actual Departments of Defense, they operate in complete secrecy. Just even looking at the history of the stealth fighter, just even stealth technology was kept a secret for a very, very long time. And not until you're ready to use it and need to use it does it become public, and not officially public. It just is being detected out in the wild. So there's going to be a process where you're secretly testing it, and that might creep up, which is maybe what we're seeing. And then it's waiting for the next big war, the next big reason to use the thing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's definitely technologies now. There might not be propulsion technologies. There could be AI surveillance technologies. There could be different kinds of stealth drones. There could be it could be also in cyberspace, like cyber war weapons, all that kind of stuff. That they're obviously going to be kept secret.
I'm very skeptical lately, and the reason why I'm skeptical is the government keeps talking about it. The Pentagon keeps talking about it. NASA keeps talking about it.
In which direction are you skeptical?
I'm skeptical that they're aliens. I think most likely it's a smokescreen, and most likely these are some sort of like incredibly advanced drones that they've developed that they want to pretend don't exist. That seems the more likely scenario, because otherwise, my take is like, what's the benefit of them discussing these things? Like, what's the benefit of them discussing these things openly? These are, what the way they described it, off-world crafts, not made from this earth. Like, why? Why would they tell us that? I mean, unless there's an imminent danger of us being invaded, and they want to prepare people so they don't freak out as much. Like maybe freak them out a little bit, say that publicly. The New York Times article, the Pentagon discussing it, all these different things.
Test the waters.
Yeah. Well, let people know that this is a thing.
Yeah.
Or my take is like that. I don't think they do that. I don't think they tell us. I think the government has a lot of contempt for the citizens. I really do. I think they have contempt for our intelligence. They have contempt for our need to know things. And I also think they think that they are running us. It's not, we're all in this together, and the government works for the people, and the government is of the people. I don't think they think that way.
Yeah, the basic idea is you can't trust the populace to govern itself because we're a bunch of idiots.
Yeah. I think that's accurate.
Well, they're not wrong, but they're also idiots, power hungry idiots.
Yeah, I don't think everyone's an idiot, but I think there are enough idiots that it becomes a real problem if you're completely honest about everything you do. And
Yeah.
you don't want to let everybody weigh in about things that are incredibly complex and that most people are ignorant of.
And on top of that, there's this machine of intelligence. I've recently been reading a lot about the KGB, about the FSB. So several things sparked my curiosity. So one, I'm traveling to Ukraine and to Moscow. And because of that, I started to sort of ask practical questions of myself, just travel and all those kinds of things. So I started reading a lot about the KGB. Jack Barsky has a book on this. I talked to him. And you start to realize, you probably looked into some of this, but you just start to realize the scale of surveillance, of manipulation. Now, a lot of them also talk about the incompetence of those organizations. The usual bureaucracy creeps in. But the point is, it seems like there's no line they're not willing to cross for the purpose of gathering intelligence, for the purpose of controlling people in order to gather intelligence. Now, this is MI6, FSB. There's not much information about the FSB or the GRU, but the KGB. So we're always like 20 years behind or more on the actual information. And so I start to wonder. So I have not officially been contacted by any intelligence agency, but I start to wonder, well, is there somebody I know that's doing that? Undercover CIA or undercover FSB, undercover anything?
You probably do.
Have you asked yourself this question?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, people that have been on my podcast. Yeah, for sure.
Do you think there was a guest that may have been?
100%.
Oh, man.
I would imagine.
Would you know?
I have suspicions.
Do you care? Is this...
I mean, it depends on what they're attempting to do, right? Like, if I felt like there was some deception involved and they were trying to use the podcast to manipulate a narrative in a deceptive way to trick people into things, yeah, I would care.
But this is exactly those are the kind of things they do. They do plant narratives.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine if you have the number one podcast in the world, that people would want to infiltrate that.
Yeah, there's probably meetings in all major intelligence agencies about, okay, what are the large platforms? How do we spread the message?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing that really emerged when we were talking about during my cancellation, that there's there's no objective analysis of this in mainstream media. There's clear narratives that they're trying to push forward to, whether it's to promote certain ideas or to diminish the power and reach of people who are mavericks or people who are, who aren't connected to a system that you can't compromise. That's where it gets dangerous, right? Where it gets dangerous is when someone has the largest reach, but is also completely detached and clearly is independent in the sense of independent thinking, has on whoever he wants.
But your mind can still be manipulated.
I guess I can. I mean, I guess everybody can be manipulated a certain way. I manipulate my own mind, I'm sure, too. But I also spend a lot of time thinking about what I think. I don't just accept things. Like the UFO thing. Like, I was all in for a while, and now I'm like, man, something smells fishy. Yeah. I'm in it, and then I'm thinking, like, why? Here's my problem with the UFO thing. I want it to be real so bad.
Yeah.
That's my problem with it. I'm such a sucker. I want it to be real so bad, and that's a problem for me because I'm aware of it. And so then I stop and think about, like, what is my desire for UFO truth to be exposed? Well, it's because it's fun. That's what it is. So I have a desire for it to be real.
And I mean, I've talked to a bunch of folks about this. So those with connection with DOD, and they do draw lines between people that are full of shit and people who are not. There's a lot of people in the public sphere that they say are full of shit.
Yeah, for sure.
And you have to kind of tell the difference.
Yeah, CNN. Watch him talk.
Well, I mean, even yes,
You know, I mean,
definitely true. But I
everybody
meant
knows.
on the UFO topic.
Oh, the UFO topic.
There's certain individuals that are like, okay, they're just like using this. In fact, like people who are not full of shit are often very quiet.
Right.
Which is why, even Bob Lazar is an interesting story because he was trying to be quiet for the longest time.
Well, he was worried about his own life, according to Bob, and that's why he went public with it. And initially, the first videos he did with George Knapp, they hid his identity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he felt like that wasn't enough, and he really needed to expose his own identity just to protect his life, which is a great story. So you got to go, well, that seems so juicy. I want to buy into it. Yeah. And that's where I get nervous.
You don't know who to trust in this world.
Exactly.
How do you figure that out? How do you figure out who to trust in your life? You're Joe Rogan. A lot of people want to be close to you. CIA agents, FSB agents, people that want.
I'm friends with a former CIA agent,
Yeah.
Mike Baker, who's been on my podcast a bunch of times.
Allegedly former.
Think
about that.
He's air quotes former.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe he's former. I'm sure he has some connection to him. I also believe he's a good guy. But I gain a lot of very intelligent and well-informed insights from him as to how things work. And, I think, I'm sure he doesn't tell me everything about everything, but he's told me enough where I think I can understand things better from talking to him about how the way, the elves work under the machine.
What about friends? How do you know if you can trust?
Well, most of my friends are old friends.
Time. So time is the thing.
Yeah.
Like just going through shit together.
Yeah, and also people that, first of all, comics. Like
you can trust comics?
Yeah.
Is that
comics are pretty trustworthy. The good ones, the really good ones.
Yeah.
There's not that many of us. If there's 1,000 professional comics on Earth, I'd be stunned. I don't even think there's 1,000. Like real professionals who you get booked all the time, headline weekends at clubs and theaters and arenas. Yeah, and then there's levels to that, right? There's like the guys who are middle acts who kind of like barely scrape by. And then like how many headliners are there? How many like really funny headliners that I would say, if you tell me you're going to be in Cincinnati, hey, this person's playing at this club. Should I go see them? Mm-hmm. I'd be like, like how many people would I give the recommendation to? And then how many people sell out theaters? How many people sell out arenas? How many people? There's not that fucking many. So those people, like at the levels of comedy where you've been doing stand up for 20 years, there's a certain amount of honesty and a certain amount of understanding of each other that we all have.
Oh, so that process of becoming a great comic is like humbling in the way like jiu-jitsu is humbling.
Very similar.
Like you've eaten so much shit that that somehow, even if you're insane, even if you're chaotic, even if you're full of shit, you lie a lot, all those kinds of things, underneath it, there's a good human.
Yeah.
Like you could be surface bullshitter, but on important things, you're trustworthy.
Hopefully. I mean, if you're not, then people shy away from you. And there are people like that too, that are really successful, but that are what I call islands. I talked to other comics about that. Like you don't want to be an island. Because there's these people that aren't attached to the rest of the community, and they're doing well on their own. And usually they have like one opening act they bring with them on the road they've worked with forever, and they don't have comedy friends. And those people are miserable because they can't relate.
Sometimes fame in itself is isolating.
Very.
So you have to actually do a lot of work and make sure it doesn't isolate you. Because if you become successful, people start wanting stuff from you.
Yes.
And then sometimes you want to push them away because of that, as opposed to connect with them.
Yeah, I don't enjoy it when people want things from me. It's not fun.
You just ignore it.
Yeah, it's fucking too heavy. They want too much. And it's too much of a disproportionate relationship. It's too unbalanced. Because there are people where you could tell that they're working towards something. They're working towards an angle, and they want to be close to you because you will benefit them. And then there's other people that are just, there's not that many of us, and so we all want to hang out together. Like one of the podcasts I love the most is this podcast I do called Protect Our Parks. Mm-hmm. It's a thing I do with Ari Shaffir, Shane Gillis, and Mark Norman.
Yeah, it's great.
It's so fun because we just get obliterated. and we talk so much shit.
Yeah.
Like there's conversations after that podcast where I go, hey man, we got to cut that part out.
Yeah.
Because like Shane will go too far, he'll go too crazy, but we're just making each other laugh and it's just fun. And it's like that kind of camaraderie between real comics is very precious to me.
My favorite part of that is like the non sequitur stuff from Mark Norman. And you guys get so trashed that you don't even understand what the hell he's talking about. But it's funny to the listener because he's still on point. That guy's as sharp.
He's so
got
good.
That Mitch Hedberg quality.
Yes. Well, he's such a dedicated comic. You know, he loves comedy so much. That's one of the things I love about him. He's like, comedy. He gets excited. Like he loves it. As does Shane and as does Ari.
Yeah.
You know, they really love it. And it's that's so there's that. Like I have friends in that way, and I have martial arts friends who are some of the also the thing about being humbled, how things like jiu-jitsu will humble you. Martial arts friends they're also they know who's been through it. You know, they know who really has gone through the gauntlet and emerged on the other end a better person.
Well, you said there's very few of us.